The last thing Ambassador Elijah Voss did before the air peeled from his lungs was look directly into the broadcast lens. No fear. No regret. Just a quiet, terrifying certainty. As the vacuum drained his life, silence fell across every human screen in the galaxy. The image held for 10 full seconds. Then it cut to black. In orbit above Earth, inside the cold steel walls of Fort Exodus, Commander Adrian Vega didn't flinch. She simply turned from the screen, set her empty glass down on the console, and said, "Get me Black Sunday. We're going dark." Across Earth, sirens howled through major cities. Military reserves were activated. Orbital shipyards roared back to life. Deep space satellites realigned, and encrypted orders spread like fire. On the other side of the moon, President Alec Ward stood before the World Council and spoke 6 words that cracked the silence. "We are no longer under council law." His tone was steady, unyielding. "You executed peace. Now you'll meet war." The council's oldest empires, the Tsar, the Ilari, the Trillions, reacted with clinical detachment. They had seen human anger before. But what they had never seen was what came next. Vega's boots echoed down the corridor as she entered the Black Sun briefing chamber. The room went silent. She faced her team. Veterans, ghosts in human flesh, survivors of wars Earth hadn't even admitted happened. "Council killed Voss. Publicly. On Illyria." Her voice was like stone. "No trial. No proof. Just execution." A low curse escaped from Sergeant Nairarami, Hex, who crossed her arms, jaw clenched. Lieutenant Darren Cole remained silent, his eyes narrowed. "They didn't kill a man," Vega said. "They killed our leash. The only one holding us back." Joe, their AI specialist, murmured. "They expect a retaliation. A blunt one. They'll get surgical fire instead," Vega said. "We're hitting Itrax 5. Deep listening post. No witnesses. No mercy." Itrax 5 loomed like a tumor in space. A dead moon cloaked in storms, veined with transmission towers and stealth comms. Officially, it was abandoned. Unofficially, it fed data to the Council's covert war desk. The drop ship punched through the cloud layer, engines screaming. Black Sun deployed in silence. Landing was rough. Acidic sleet hissed against their armor as they moved in 2x2 through the stormlit dark. Vega's HUD flared red. Motion. Contact. "Insected signatures," Joe whispered. "Relly mercs." "Standard procedure," Vega replied. "Kill fast. Clean." They breached the first outpost with precision. Hex set charges, Cole took point. The firefight was brutal, short-lived. Blue ichor splattered the walls as insected screams cut through the corridors. They reached the central data vault. Vega pulled the chip. Joe plugged it into her wrist module and linked to the uplink. "I'm in," Joe muttered. "Oh hell." "What?" Vega asked, eyes scanning the corridor. "They framed Voss. On purpose. Forged encryption keys. The Council blackmailed the Trillion delegate, then used Voss as bait." Joe kept reading. Her face paled. "There's more," she said. "Off-books labs. Illegal bioweapons. Human colony surveillance projects. They were prepping for war. We weren't the first targets. Just the most dangerous." Vega stared at the files. Then at her team. "Transmit it. All of it. Live feed. No spin. Going public?" Hex asked. "They made the first broadcast," Vega said. "It's time we answered." The data storm hit Council space within the hour. Every fringe system, every neutral zone, every embattled species saw the truth. The Council's execution wasn't justice, it was a pretext. From mining moons to ambassadorial chambers, reactions rippled. The once stable fabric of galactic peace frayed at the edges. In a backroom on Ilari Prime, 2 delegates whispered treason. On a colony in the Karen system, conscripts refused to deploy. The cracks had begun. Back aboard Fort Exodus, Vega stood alone in the observation deck, watching Earth rise over the moon's edge. Her armor was still scorched, her shoulder still bleeding beneath the plate. Cole stepped beside her. Quiet. Scarred. He warned us, he said. Vega nodded. Yeah. He did. Do we finish this? She didn't answer right away. Her eyes never left the horizon. They wanted to silence us, she said at last. They thought killing Voss would shut the door. But humans don't grieve in silence, Cole. She turned. We grieve like thunder. The citadel of the Galactic Council hung in geostationary orbit above the moon of Ilaria, sterile, immense, a cathedral of law built on centuries of compromise and quiet tyranny. Inside its great chamber, High Chancellor Bellatrix stood beneath a vault of cold stars. Her voice, as measured as a scalpel's edge, cut through the hush. Earth's aggression is no longer theoretical. It is fact. A strike on HFY. Pirated transmissions. Propaganda. She paused. Their diplomat was a destabilizing agent. His execution was lawful. The chamber was silent, but not empty. Dozens of species observed, some blinking from compound eyes, others still behind masks of protocol. A Tsar delegate clicked his mandibles. The humans have exposed files we cannot ignore. Perhaps, restraint. Restraint? Bellatrix repeated. They've declared endless war. They broadcasted it. She stepped forward, robes trailing like smoke. Earth believes its rage is strength. That grief justifies barbarism. We will show them what real order looks like. She raised one spindled hand. Activate Directive Kajura. On Earth, within the deep halls of Command Central, Vega's face was bathed in red hololight as battle reports streamed in. 3 Council-aligned systems had declared partial lockdown. Trade routes shuttered. Civilian transports rerouted. The war was no longer theoretical. President Alec Ward appeared on the primary display. Commander Vega, your extraction of the Itrax files confirmed our worst fears. The Council has been preparing to neutralize Earth for over a decade. They moved first, Vega replied. Ward nodded. We intend to move smarter. Project Helios is ready. Vega blinked. AI fleet's already cleared? It's operational. First wave launches in 30 hours. Your team will deploy with it, targeting the Crixin Belt. She frowned. Council Trade Hub? They won't expect it. Take it, and we cut their spine. Black Sun deployed from the Helios-class dreadnought Nova Ecliptica. No crew but engineers. The rest, algorithms. Inside the strike bay, Sho pulled her gloves tight. I still don't like riding with something that does combat calculus before you can blink. Vega smirked. It blinks faster than us. That's the point. Cole checked his rifle. Let's make sure it doesn't get cocky. The Nova dropped out of slip space like a blade through silk. Ahead, the Crixin Belt bloomed, an asteroid-choked corridor of trade stations and silent guns. The Council's defense fleet was present but spread thin, supply convoys, bulk freighters, and patrol escorts. Not war-ready. Helios systems activated. Targeting arrays flared across the void. Cold light streaked between stars. Then chaos. The Battle of Crixin began with calculated precision. Earth's AI dreadnoughts shredded orbital defenses within moments, bypassing sluggish manual responses. But humans didn't rely on math alone. Black Sun launched aboard an armored transport, weaving through the debris field. Their mission, seize Relay Station 7, the node connecting Crixin's communications to Council Command. Touchdown was rough. The station's defense systems were half-automated, half-living. Trillion hybrid units, bred for response under chaos conditions, poured from upper decks. Inside the corridors, every step was contested. Vega fought shoulder to shoulder with Hex and Cole, moving room to room. Plasma fire cut past her head. Hex dropped a hybrid with a charge to the chest. They reached the core chamber. Joe plugged in. Give me 30 seconds. You've got 15. Joe's fingers danced. Uploading virus, routing false retreat orders across Council fleet nodes. scrambling their targeting priorities. Done? Now. They pulled out, bloodied but intact. Above, the Council convoy, confused and blind, fired on its own escorts. 3 supply ships exploded before a retreat was ordered. Helios' fleet disengaged with cold elegance. Victory. But not without cost. Half the Nova Ecliptica's secondary systems had been fried by a Council jamming burst. A dozen Earth Marines died in the assault. And worst of all, Black Sun lost Corporal Wren, shot while covering their retreat. Vega didn't speak for a full hour after they cleared the belt. Back on Earth, her debrief with command turned sour quickly. "You disobeyed orders," said General Haveth. "Your fleet was instructed to hold defensive position post-objective. Instead, you committed to full chase. I pulled out when we won. At cost. We always pay." The silence in the room thickened. Ward leaned forward on the table screen. "Commander Vega, your actions yielded results, crushing ones. But this war will be long. We cannot burn our best so soon." She nodded. "Understood." But she didn't mean it. Later, in the barracks, Cole sat beside her as she removed her shoulder armor. Her shirt beneath was soaked in blood, not hers. "You're bleeding again," he said quietly. "It's Wren's," she answered. "The armor sealed." He handed her a cloth anyway. She didn't take it. "You disobeyed an order," he said, voice neutral. "I saved Joe." He nodded. "And 12 engineers who rewrote half the Helios combat code." She looked at him. "You think I did wrong? I think you did what needed doing. But they're going to use it against you." She shrugged. "They already are." He looked away. "You're building something here, Adrian. But don't burn it before it's finished." She didn't answer. Unseen by Earth Command, a secure transmission beamed from deep within the South Atlantic Command Corps. A ghost signal. To Bellatrix, Council Prime. From Fleet Admiral Kajura. "Vega survived Crixon. You were right, her instincts are unpredictable. I am in place. Earth still believes I serve them." A moment later, the transmission self-deleted. In the outer rim, inside a derelict observatory converted to a Council war node, Bellatrix received the report and smiled, not wide, not triumphant. Cold. Knowing. "She's getting bolder," her aide murmured. "She's making herself a weapon," Bellatrix corrected. The Chancellor turned, watching the stars through crystalline glass. "Soon we'll turn that weapon against the heart of her own people." The ambush hit between jump points. One moment, quiet hum of transit. The next, alarms screamed across the Black Sun transport, lights flashing red, shields flickering under sudden impact. Vega was already moving before the first shockwave finished rattling the hull. "Status!" she barked. "Enemy fire, Council ship signatures," Hex shouted. 6 frigates. 2 carriers. They're jamming our exit coordinates. How'd they find us? No one answered. Vega already knew. The traitor. The transport shuddered again. Inside the hold, Vega braced as the floor tilted, sparks falling from torn cabling. "Cole, with me. Joe, purge Combs' logs and encrypt the core. Hex, prep evac charges." A pause. "Don't assume we're making it out," she added. They fought their way through bulkhead breaches and venting plasma. 3 squad mates died in the first 10 minutes, one crushed by a collapsed corridor, another taken by shrapnel. Cole was hit in the shoulder but kept moving. Outside, one of the Helios drones flanked the attackers and opened a brief escape lane. Joe got the drives online just long enough to punch out. A miracle. They didn't talk as the stars smeared past the window. Vega stared ahead, blood seeping down her collar. Joe sat pale beside her. Cole passed out from pain. Only when they reached a safe orbit around a mining moon did Vega speak again. "Kajura." Joe's eyes met hers. "Hollow. He sent our path," Vega said. "He's the leak. We trusted him." No one argued. 2 days later, Earth's High Command was silent. Vega had sent no message, filed no report. She didn't ask permission. She requested one thing: a troop carrier, minimal crew, and authorization to hit the Illyria Gate. She didn't wait for a reply. The gate was ancient, Council engineered centuries before Earth had reached Mars. It tethered the galactic core to Earth's outer sectors. Cutting it meant isolation, severance. But it also meant control. The Obsidian Rook, Vega's reconfigured strike cruiser, dropped out of slip space like a bullet into vacuum. She stared at the massive ring ahead, kilometers wide, bristling with shield arrays, drones, and a planetary defense grid on the moon below. "Joe," Vega said calmly, "how deep can you get into the gate's AI?" "If I get inside the planet station," she replied. "Physically." Vega turned to Hex. "Get us in." They launched under cover of a fabricated debris field. An old trick, now used with surgical perfection. The shuttle drifted until atmospheric drag caught it, then slammed them through the upper layers of the defense moon's thermosphere. Landing was brutal. Their legs hit dirt running. Inside, chaos. Alien personnel scattered. Black sun moved like blades, swift, exact. No speeches. No mercy. They reached the command terminal in 15 minutes. Joe's hands flew. "This AI's old, council grade, but modular. If I reroute the targeting to their own sensor echoes." Vega didn't flinch as the wall exploded next to her. "Do it faster." Joe's fingers blurred. "Done." Outside, orbital defense drones turned inward. A dozen exploded in perfect arcs. The gate's shield array collapsed. Earth's fleet could now fire if needed. But Vega didn't want to fire. Not yet. "Pull the data vault," she told Joe. "I want every secret this moon has." Inside the data vault, under layers of firewalls and hidden partitions, was something Vega hadn't expected. Human colonies, mapped and categorized. Not Earth's. Fringe worlds, long abandoned or absorbed by Council humanitarian efforts. Only they weren't helping. They were sterilizing. Joe scrolled through names. Vega didn't move. "It wasn't just Voss," Vega said quietly. "They've been planning this for decades. Bleeding us. Stunting our growth." Cole, one arm in a sling, looked away. "What do we do with it?" "Broadcast it," Vega said. "Live. Unedited." Joe hesitated. "That'll trigger a full council response." Vega turned to her, cold and steady. "Then they'll know we're done playing by their rules." The signal hit galactic networks within minutes. Vega's face appeared bloodied, calm, resolute. "You murdered our diplomat to silence him. You burned our outposts in secret. You've sterilized our fringe colonies under the flag of peace. And now you come for our homes with warships and lies." She paused. "We are not what you hoped we'd be. But we are what you made us." The video fed into the damning files. Council atrocities. Testimonies. Confessions. Systems folded almost immediately. Neutral empires closed ports to the Council. Protests surged on Ilari Prime. Delegates walked out of sessions. The Council's unity fractured like glass. Within hours, Vega stood on the bridge of the Obsidian Rook, watching the stars ripple. The gate behind her, now empty. "You did it," Cole said. "You cracked the facade." Vega shook her head. "No. I exposed it. Now we tear it down." Joe approached, holding a datapad. "Council Citadel is vulnerable. Their communication net is in chaos. We could hit it." Vega took the pad, reading. Her fingers tightened. "This isn't revenge anymore," she said quietly. "This is correction." Hex stepped up beside her. "You really going to hit the heart of the Council?" Vega turned, her voice like iron. "We're not here to scream in pain anymore. We're here to make sure no one else gets silenced like Voss." Far away, in the flickering silence of the Citadel, Bellatrix stood before a council in disarray. "This is temporary," she insisted. "They'll burn hot, then fade." But even as she said it, a new broadcast arrived. Not from Vega. Not from Earth. From the colonies. From the species Earth had once fought beside, long silenced, now waking. The war had changed. The galaxy was listening,